return to life, living and lusting for bizarre pleasures. Fantastic fiends on a bloody rampage.
Hey guys, what the fuck's going on? Trez here. Welcome to another edition of Ramblings of a Metalhead. Cheers. Today I just want to talk about a couple of things out of the way real quick. One is a update for my giveaway. My giveaway is officially happening next week, possibly Friday or on the weekend. That video will be up. It's going to be another video just for a heads up. And the reason why I waited so long, I know I already reached past 100 subscribers, which I'm so grateful for, and thank you guys for putting up with all my bullshit. I was on vacation when I hit 100 subscribers, and when I came back I was so fucking busy, and came back during Thanksgiving, so I know a lot of people, if I did the giveaway during there, I know a lot of people are visiting family, or you're having visitors at your house, and then came the holidays, so it's kind of iffy during that time, because I know you guys are away or busy or on holiday or what have you. I know I was pretty busy as well. Also, I wanted to accumulate a couple of things. I was ordering from labels and sometimes getting doubles, so I have one as well, and then I give away the other ones. Some of the stuff are from obviously the Metalhead box. I still get sometimes doubles, so during those months I have maybe one or two that I'll throw in there as well. And so yeah, I just want to accumulate a couple of things and get this whole last year out the way. That way everybody's back at home and at work or whatever, but have more time. Like I have a little bit of more time now, so that's that. And the other thing is I wanted to post a question. I'm gonna do the same kind of format, like get a bowl format, or already did this once before, so probably gonna be done the same way, as in get a bowl, get your guys' names and pull a couple of names out. It's not gonna be as confusing as before. I'm gonna do it the same way, not how I originally did it, but eventually I got my bearings, and with your guys' help, you guys were telling me I'm confused. I don't know what the fuck to put. I'm gonna ask you guys just to send me your YouTube names to me, or on my email, or on my Facebook. I'm gonna drop a link down below in the update video, which I'm gonna put out later. And then I'm going to wait a couple of days so I could gather a couple of names together, and then do that whole names in a little jar here, and I'll start pulling your names out, and then, you know, I'll see what you guys... the other thing is that you guys have to like... hopefully you guys like death metal, black metal, and stuff like that. I'm not a big fan of power metal, so I'm sorry, you're probably not gonna see any power metal in some of these items and stuff. Everything's pretty much metal related. So yeah, moving on, I also wanted to post a question. It's something that me and my brother-in-law sometimes argue about and talk about, because we talk metal sometimes, even though sometimes I feel that I hit a brick wall with him, or he hits a brick wall with me, and we're both at a standstill, like say one more thing. But I want to know what bands have never done you wrong. So just take a minute and let that sink in, because I don't think he understood it, and maybe the way I was saying it, he didn't get it. But he thought he was saying, you know what band did me wrong? I'm like, no. What bands have never done you wrong? You're probably thinking it's the same thing, but you know, there could be a million things that bands do that make you sour. Could be a cover of a song that they do that you're like, what? You know, but I know that's personal taste. But I mean, what bands have never had a bad album in your opinion? And that you're faithful to. No, you already could go out and buy that album blindly because you already know that they're good for it, and they don't have anything. They've never done wrong. Pretty much. Like, for example, to me, maybe because I'm a fan, that's also might be in there as well. But Dark Funeral. Dark Funeral is one of them. You know, a lot of people will say their new album's kind of flat, like it doesn't have too much substance. But I like it. I know that my brother-in-law, he could probably say, I could probably speak for him and say that hopefully, I think it's Black Dahlia Murder for him, amongst others. But there's been a couple albums that I've been like, okay. But that's just me. Another band is that's never done me wrong is Disgorge from California. Every single album has been fucking brutal. No bad albums in my opinion. Everything they've done has been just solid. And Revenge, obviously that's where I got the name for this channel. Total Metal Rejection. Behold Total Rejection. So yeah, from their 2015 album, I believe. But yeah, so could drop a comment down below and let me know what your band is. I know for the sake of this, there's also bands that I would like to say as another example that have done you wrong and they've changed at some point that you're like, you know what, I can't. I was a fan, but then, you know, what the hell happened? Decapitated is one of them. I know they've gone through some tragedy, and I'm not trying to pick on them, even though I know what just recently happened to them. I'm glad they got acquitted, and I know they're back home, and you know, you guys take as much time as you guys need for something like that to happen. I know when the same thing happened, well, it's not the same thing, but when the vocalist from Lamb of God had an incident there that someone actually died. I think died. Yeah, he was in jail for a while, and you know, he came home. He had a hard time dealing with it. There's also a documentary on that as well. So, but what I mean by that is Decapitated changed their style even before the tragic events of not just what happened recently, but they got into a car accident, a big, nasty car accident. But before that, my favorite album is the Negation. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. But yeah, that was just riffs upon riffs upon riffs. And then the next album, they changed Sauron. He left as vocals. And then they had this other guy that came in. I wasn't too much of a fan of him, and the everything changed a little bit, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna step back a little bit. And then there are newer albums, Carnival is Forever and stuff like that. I was like, nah. And the last one was like, no. Another band I could say is Vader. I've been a huge fan of Vader. And I would love to. I definitely can't remember the name of the album that I want to talk about. I'll just post it up here. This album has. When I first heard it, I was like, "Damn, it's so fucking brutal. It sounds so good, man. It sounds so fucking good." But then when I was waiting for the next one, because I've been a Vader fan for many years, and I have almost all their stuff up to that point. And I still collected some stuff after that, but not consistently as I did before. Because you know, when you have a band that you love and has never done you wrong, you could just buy that album blindly and know that album's going to be good. But my gripe that I have with Vader is every once in a while they like to, for some reason, go back to the blind, so to speak. If you guys know about Vader, you guys know what I'm talking about. for some reason, and they bring their old sound back a little bit, and then they start playing old songs, and I'm like, Jesus, come on, man, just please advance. But yeah. Another one was, but then you get into a gray area where that's if you want bands to change or not, whether it's a good thing or it's a bad thing. Like you had, there could be total changes, like I have to say, Metallica. You know, when Metallica first came out, that's the biggest example. When they first came out, they had everything. They were like fucking Obi-Wan and fucking and Vader, Anakin. Like, you were the chosen one, man. You had this shit. And then what the fuck happened? And they changed to load and all that other stuff. But besides that, that's what I mean. Like, there could be bands that just totally change on you. You're like, what the fuck, man? Why? And either they change for the, I know sometimes a new wave of sound comes out, like we did with metalcore came out, and that new metal that had an effect on even death metal. So yeah, presser. But yeah, but some bands I wish they changed their sound slightly. Some bands should remain the same. And I know we get into this argument all the time with my brother-in-law, Ray. Cheers. Like Obituary. Now, I don't expect Obituary to come out to sound like Rings of Saturn or some technical bullshit. Do Gravity Blast or, you know, turn into Slam. Even though that sound would be kind of nice in Slam, But I don't expect a band like that to change that much. Nor I don't think it would sound appropriate. Some bands I do wish that would change a little, even though we were talking about this weekend, like how some bands create a side project, like the Tardy Brothers did. And when I heard the Tardy Brothers, he's like, yeah, you know, this was years ago. He's like, yeah, you know, this is from Obituary. I'm like, oh, okay, the Tardy Brothers. They came out with a side project, and it sounds just like Obituary. So, I don't know. But I just had to say that because we just talked about that Saturday. But some bands I wish changed, like Testament. Now, I've been a big fan of Testament since forever. When everybody was listening to Metallica and stuff like that, I was listening to Testament and Anthrax. You know, when everybody was listening to Metallica or Megadeth, mine was Testament, Anthrax. They had faster stuff, heavier riffs. You know, Anthrax has some of those punishing riffs. And yeah, but when The Gathering came out, and the Testament, The Gathering, they incorporated blast beats. I'm like, oh yes, and their riffs were like total death metal riffs. I'm like, oh yes, they're one more step away from turning into all out death metal, and I'm like, damn, Testament and death metal, shit. Plus Chuck Billy's vocals on that. And ever since the album before, Demonic, it was just total. I mean, the album says it all. Demonic. You had the imagery and the lyrics and all that stuff, and the punishing heavy sounds. Excuse me. But yeah. And then after that album, they changed their members because they have Steve DiGiorgio and Glenn Hogan on drums on The Gathering, so it was like, holy shit. But then they changed back to their old lineup, I believe, some of them. And, you know, I was like, in a way disappointed, and But you can't be disappointed too much in that sense because they got their old members back. So I was like, oh shit, oh man, it brings back memories. But at the same time, it's like you were so close. I know a lot of influence of that became from the guitarist. He has a side project as well, a black metal band. I fucking forgot the name of it. It's called Dragon something. It's not fucking Dragon Force. So no, it's not that. Ah, damn it. I'm just gonna post it right here so you guys have a good image on that, and I'll probably drop that also as well so you can hear it. I think the guitarist from Testament doing a black metal album. That's just amazing. So yeah, so that's part of my examples of bands that have done me wrong, and what I mean have never done you wrong is the band has never changed or can do no wrong in your eyes, either because you're a big fan or just give me a good reason why. You can post in the comments down below. Let me know what you think, if I'm making any sense or not, but yeah, the other thing I want to talk about a little bit is these magazine covers that on December's Metalhead box. We got Decibel's Napalm Death. I know this is a 30 collector's edition. This is 30 years of Napalm Death, which is fucking awesome. Cheers, I love Napalm Death. But what I mean is, what I want to talk about, what I pointed out is that I know I first heard this fucking Brain Smasher. I know that the importance of YouTubers, and which cheers for that. I totally agree with you on this stuff. I'm not saying YouTubers because I'm a YouTuber or some shit like that. What I mean is that when you get album covers like this, which I don't mind because I love her, for Cannibal Corpse, Lacuna Coil, I know all these bands have gotten there by because they're good and they deserve everything they achieved, but at the same time, I know that there's going to be stuff like Soulfly. Now, I like Soulfly, but this album wasn't that great. I just have to say it. I know there's big fans of Soulfly out there, so I'm sorry, but this is my opinion. That shouldn't. Their album wasn't that strong compared to other albums that don't deserve either a back cover or the front cover. I'm just sorry. I'm just gonna say that because there's more bands out there that do deserve to be on this cover. Bands like I keep on mentioning, Ruins of Beverest, fucking Spectral Voice, one of the greatest albums of last year. I mean, at least in my opinion, but I know that everybody in the mother's talking about bands like Blood Incantation and Spectral Voice, which are pretty much the same dudes. Bell Witch, come on, man. I don't know if Bell Witch was any of on these covers, either Terrorizer or Decibel, but Jesus, some of these bands do deserve to be on those covers, like Ruins of Beverest, another band I keep bringing up. But you also got some punishing albums that came out as well, and they don't acknowledge bands or genres like slam in there as well, which is a total. I know there's a lot of people that don't like slam. They say that slam is kind of like deathcore, just amplified a little bit, but that's a genre that has its roots since Eternal Bleeding coined that fucking term, slam, and also bands like Guttural Secrete, even Suffocation. I know you're gonna be like, Suffocation, fuck you, but one song from Effigy of the Forgotten has this one riff that's just pure slam. And I will make a video. That's another video that's coming up about some origins of slam, and also some good slam parts and some good bands that have been making slam what it is now, which is fucking amazing. You have bands out now like Cranium, obviously, which is a great band. Martin, rest in power, brother. Evelyn, stay strong, stay strong. Or bands like Epicardiectomy, the Cranius. You got bands like Begging for Incest. You got bands like Analepsy, which had one of the best albums last year as well. Why are they not on these covers? It's like, I know these magazines sometimes they terrorize them. I know there's other labels out there and other magazines that are more underground and more brutal, but you really, if you're into all that, all these bands, brutal death metal, you really gotta, if you're already into these bands, you already know where to look for these bands already, so that's one thing. But I wish they would put more coverage on these magazines. I don't know, at the same time, would they make it more mainstream? So that's a little gray area. So I always say, if you, well, this shirt is pretty, you can pretty much read what it says, hate diplomacy. But if you can't understand what this means and that stuff, and you're like, hey, what's the name of that band? I always say in my stupid, sometimes elitist type way, I'll say, yo, dude, if you don't know the name of this band, you need to know the name of this band. It's for myself. But that's what I think in my head. But what ends up happening, yo, come here, I'll give you a burn your copy. Come here, you gotta listen to this. Not only listen to this, but listen to this and this and this. Because I want to, show as much of the music that I listen to everybody, or you guys, everybody. But that's my drive that I have with magazines. Even though when you look inside, they do have some good stuff in there, but at the same time, you gotta look at it. You gotta look for it. I know they're gonna have their Nagars, municipal waste, which I have no problem with municipal waste. I love municipal waste, but at the same time, there's more bands. Last year, I know this is from last year, but there's more bands. 2012. But there are more bands releasing stuff. Last year, they were just like Bellwitch, man. Come on, they were just amazing. I know this is the 30 years of Napalm Death, so they devoted most of this magazine towards Napalm Death, but I know this band, this is Phil Anselmo's new deal, black metal, which is really cool. After I didn't notice it was Phil, to be honest with you. And I've heard it for a long time. I'm like, damn, this band is good. And then when I found out that it was Phil, I cannot unhear Phil in my in that recording, which is not a bad thing at all. That's impressive, actually. Cool. But yeah, I just wish there was more. I know there is some magazines out there, like I mentioned, but most of those are zines, and some of them are legit magazines, and they do provide some sort of brutal stuff for unknown black metal bands, or really raw black metal bands that I wish had more exposure. But then some people might say that they've got mainstream world, look at them on Desecration, that's not really cool. But all depends on how you look at it. I would love to see bands like Ascended Dead, really amazing shit. bands like that. Craven Idol, another great band that released an amazing album last year. You know, where are those on the covers, man? Come on. But it is what it is, I guess. This wouldn't be ramblings if I didn't bitch a little bit. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap this video up because it's already getting pretty long. So, I got a couple of stuff going on. I got a lot of videos I gotta finish editing because you guys already know my channel. You guys know I like to put a lot of imagery in there because otherwise you just be looking at my stupid face, trying to concentrate and try to fucking decipher name of bands and fucking them up, which I am gonna do anyway because I just fuck up. But I got a shit ton of videos to do. Still working on this video that's gonna be. It's reaching almost like 2 and 48 minutes long. That's 2 hours and 48 minutes long for a show that I was supposed to come up with every 2 weeks, which I don't see that happening. But I'm gonna try my hardest, maybe just to break those videos up into small episodes, I guess. But that's taking a long time. In the meantime, Adrian, please, I hope you have patience for me. Rivers of Blood radio stream. I know I said I was going to release an episode every 2 weeks, which is probably not going to happen. But I'll do my best to keep recording. That's going to be an ongoing process of keep recording and editing, and then cutting them and putting them out like fucking bread. But yeah, also I got a couple of other stuff going on. I got my favorite metal covers. That's another one that's a long video that I'm just cutting up and trimming. And so yeah, got a couple of stuff going on. Obviously, I order new stuff every once in a while. I got another video for Everlasting Spew that's coming up. Cheers, Tito, Giorgio, awesome shit. Thanks for making me part of the crew for Everlasting Spew Records. Awesome. And yeah, I got a lot of shit going on, like as in videos, new ideas and stuff, like bands I've never done you wrong. I got a couple videos that I'm making specifically for just a tribute. Not that the bands contact me like, look, he's getting there. No. This is my paying tribute. I'm taking my time to make videos. I did one for Nightbringer, not for them. Well, it's for them, but not because they asked me to. That's what I mean. So, I want to do more videos of that. I know I'm making a nice one for one of the best bands out there right now. I just heard that they're making recording a full length. I believe it's the first full length. It's this band Engulfed from Jersey. Their EP is just only 2 songs on that shit, but it could be the best thing that ever came out last year. That's how good it is. So anyway, if you stuck around this long, thanks. And I'm gonna post a shitload of songs on here. What I'm gonna be blasting. All the descriptions gonna be down below. So leave your comments as well. If anything you would like to see, anything you think I should have talked about, and so anyway, let me know about that question. What band has never done you wrong? So like I always end these things, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and support metal in all its fucking forms.